This time it's going to be French player Yoda Sensei playing Phoenix against the Greek player Not Fragile playing Dragon. I'm going to go quickly through the deck list. So the French player is on Kudenizawa, Seeker of Void. There is like literally nothing weird in the provinces. It's the pretty regular role that you would play. The Dynasty side is also pretty classic. We can notice that Teleka is the restricted list. Yeah, it's pretty regular Dynasty-wise. Two favorable ground only. Well, but I think that's he might have been running one more, but it's okay. And on the conflict side, we have Free Against the Wave Assassination Banzai. Only one censure, that's not much. Clarity 3 times. One consumed by 5 fires, so if you find it, it's nice, but if you don't, it's a problem usually. 3 code games, only 2 display of power, that might be enough actually. 3 let go, 2 storm, and we have 2 path of man. The 3 cloud, 2 Katanas, 2 fan, and 1 cheeky Jurojin Curse because of the Seeker of Void, so we'll see if we can do anything with that. And then we've got 3 Feral Nino, which have been cut from many Phoenix decks actually. 3 Shrine Maiden and 2 Tattooed Wanderer, so the fact it's not Ancient Master but Tattooed Wanderer might explain why there's only 1 censure. That gives some cover now, so it's also good. On the Dragon side, we have, okay, so the Stronghold is the pretty regular one. We have Crab Splash, Keeper of Water Roll, Manicured Garden Upholding Meditation, Shameful, and Revels, and yeah, nothing too surprising there. What do we have on the Dynasty side? Doomshigenja Initiate, 3 Swords, Smith to Mystic, 3 Investigators, 3 Right to 3 Tranquil Philosopher, that's a lot, maybe 2 were enough. 2 Master Alchemist, 3 Tomi, 2 Sumiko. Okay, we've got Sumiko, so he's going to be fighting for the favor. And 3 Yokuni, well, that sounds pretty regular. 3 Grounds, 3 Dojo, so we're going to have some dueling stuff. Yeah, 3 Proving Ground. That's a whole lot of holdings. Like, there might be 1 or 2 too much holdings there to my taste. On the other side, on the conflict, we have a Daimyo Gunbai, so that goes with the dueling spirit of the deck, and it also synergizes with the Stronghold, so it's pretty nice. 3 Fine Katana, 3 Ornate Fan, 3 Cloud Domain, 3 Finger of Jade, 3 Reprieve from the Splash, that goes with 3 Phyton and 1 Cheeky Mountain Does Not Fall. I can understand why there's only 1 given the 3 influence cost. There is a very small number of conflict characters that would wander, so that might be a problem against Crab, but in this matchup it's fine. We've got 2 Banzai, 3 Code Games, 3 Defend Your Honor, so he's on Defend Your Honor as a cancel. That's a bit interesting because like you're running Sumiko, so you're going to be fighting for the favor, which means not having Ancient Master is a bit like strange, and not having Censure also, like I would say either you take the package, either you take none. And because you take no Ancient Master and no Censure, that probably Sumiko should have been something else. And then you have like, yeah, 3 Let Go, the restricted being the 3 policy debate, which goes very well in a dualish oriented deck. It's a bit weird that we don't have even a single Miramoto's die choice in that deck. Like, and we have 3 Indomitable Will. Okay, that's interesting. We're gonna see how that turns out. Because that's a card we usually don't see as a free off. So I'm going to see if the players are ready. Yeah, not fragile there. Giving the go. Chess clock seems to be set properly. Yeah, everything seems fine. Just going to check something about sound. Yeah. So we're going to wait for the player to start the game. There we are. So Phoenix is going to play first. It's interesting. Yeah, I think it's good. Like, you can get that passing fate. Maybe going Sogon. Sogon is actually also good because like you can just against the dueling deck. I think you might be better off going Sogon than first. I'm going to try to get the chat on if I can. Okay, seems to be working. So seeing the move again, it's 3 for the dragon and 2 for the phoenix on the dynasty side. Okay, the phoenix player keeping all conflict cards. Sounds pretty happy about his hand. Dragon throwing away almost all of them. So Phoenix side we have Gizetoshi, Tsuki, and a Solemn Scholar. On the Dragon side we have 2 Proving Grounds, a Swordsmith, and an Initiate. So those 2 Proving Grounds are good, except that you don't have a very good dueling support right now. So maybe you're going to try to throw up something. We see the Solemn Scholar with no fate being played on Phoenix side, so that makes sense. I think Dragon doesn't play an assassination, right? We didn't saw one. Yeah, so he might actually have, but there is free cloud and a Shugen Shuffle Dragon, so it's good. I think that Swordsmith is a bit risky, like because you actually can get it assassinated, so you're gonna need to protect it, like with a Finger of Jade or something. You've got to reprieve also for that. But then if you start piling up stuff on it, it might hit the against the waves. Which isn't going to happen now because Phoenix did play Master Zatoshi, but that might become actuality again if the dragon hits a Void Province in the row. So that's you probably don't want. You're not going to want to tower up that Shugen just, which means your Proving Grounds are going to be not so useful on the first turn, I would say. Depends if you can like get a dual win. Like if he gets at least a dual win, it's super good because like it's 2 cards. But then it depends on what you invested and especially how long it's gonna last. Like if you staking a cloud, so that's decent, but it's not awesome either because that Solemn Squad doesn't have a fate, and the Gizetoshi Master is yeah, you would have to cloud it right now because afterwards it's a lasting effect. So if you cannot cloud it in conflict phase. If you cloud it right now, you're fine if that's your intention because you still have 4 fates. But then after that, like if I think you also have to be careful with that fate because you're gonna want to pile up stuff on a character, and you're gonna need another character than this swordsmith to pile stuff on. Like not playing, I understand not playing this initiate to get the passing fate. Yeah, there comes the Finger of Jade to avoid assassination. So that's that. I think that was like totally mandatory. Putting 2 fate, he probably had the finger in the starting hand to put 2 fate on the swordsmith, knowing that there is an assassination in his opponent deck. Because like if that's your only character on first turn, you put 2 fate on it and it gets assassinated, it just like sucks. There is the cloud, yeah, that also makes sense. It's not just a not so good block of stats that you paid for 6 fate, so it's okay-ish, but it's not awesome. Yeah, can you tell me if you hear me properly, please, in the chat? Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, and it seems that the text return also works nicely. It's fine, perfect. Sorry, there's still a little bit of clunky thing with the streams setup, which I need to solve. The crab one, like by a wide margin. So I think it was Netherlands, if I'm correct. Yeah. That game was just a slaughter. So yeah, we saw an Earth conflict with the Solemn Scholar for Phoenix, so that's totally logical because if you get that Earth ring, then you get a bow in defense. And Dragon is defending with the Swordsmith and a fan, so he's actually starting to tower up a bit that Swordsmith. If you're Phoenix and you have an against, you don't have Fate, yeah. Yeah, because you're first. Oh, okay. Maybe Phoenix should have played Tsuki rather than the Master of Kizaitoshi, actually, for the first turn. Or even the Mia Mystic would actually be reasonable because after the Dragon playing the Swordsmith with the Finger of Jade, the Swordsmith, you were pretty sure that there would be some attachments involved there. So now that Swordsmith is is a free stat, and okay, we see a Banzai there to get I think it's both to get the break and avoid the swordsmith to duel him and get 2 cards. So like you could have a gun buy, for example, to put on that swordsmith. And if it were to work, that would be a problem. Yeah, we see a policy debate instead, but that's also perfectly reasonable. So now it's like 1 versus 1, and Dragon is gonna get 2 cards, see the Phoenix hand, and discard stuff. Yeah, assassination. Or if you had the assassination first, before the draw, I think it was a huge mistake not to play the Mere Mystic. Because then you could have just like poked with the Mere Mystic on Earth. If the Dragon defense, then you use the Mystic to pop the finger. And if it doesn't have another finger or reprieve to put, then you just assassinate it straight. Of course, it's different if you draw it afterwards. But if you had it in the opening hand, I think that was a mistake to play the Gizatoshi Master rather than the Mystic. Like, you got a much slower turn 1, but you also, like, destroy your opponent's turn. Throwing away the assassination, yeah, I think that's a good call. And playing the Banzai to avoid the break, yeah, I think maybe even, no, it just avoids the break. Oh, it actually avoids, oh yeah, the Stronghold has been used, so it also avoids Earth being claimed by Phoenix. So, and because he saw his opponent's hand, it's pretty sure it's going to work. Like, yeah, you can double Storm, but it's like still not enough to break. And even like playing that Storm to win the ring feels quite bad. It's a +2 strength. That's just getting your ring. It's not huge. If you get that Earth ring, it's good because like you're gonna get a card and you open discards on at random, and you then can bow with the Solemn Scholar. So that's still good, but it's not. It's a Storm you won't have later when you will have a bigger board. So Dragon passing there, Phoenix getting the ring as he wanted. So that's at least a thing for Phoenix. And discarding that cloud is actually really good because now Dragon cannot cloud the Solemn Scholar to avoid it being used. So that's a really good shot with the Earth Ring. As Dragon, if you don't, yeah, no conflict character for Dragon. So I think no, no, as Phoenix, you might just want to. You've got 7 cards. So if you have attachment, I don't remember what he had in hand. He has a Katana, a fan, Clarity. I think here you're almost happy just like going political, smashing into any province, trying to break it. And if you hit the non-existing restoration, actually, I think. Yeah, so there isn't even a restoration. You might hit Rovals if it's in the row. That's annoying. Because then you're gonna get both. But it's not like you're not taking a risk there, going anywhere. Shameful could be annoying. But even then, like even if it's an ancient master, you're still winning against Shameful. So I think you need to scoot a province, and if you can destroy a province on which is a proving ground, then it's good for you because if those proving grounds stay too long, okay, that's a manicured garden. So if the dragon player has nothing to defend, oh, okay, it's fight on. That's a good call, and he's going to get that fate back from the garden. The Phoenix player here can play a fan and replay the Storm to try to get the break, but I don't think it's worth. Yeah, he's just passing. You're taking a risk. Like your opponent still have 5 cards. He might have something to avoid the break, and then you've wasted cards for that break. On the other side, that Master of Gizatoshi is useful only if he has stats, because like without stats, it's worth nothing. Maybe taking Fire to honor it would have been actually a tiny bit better than taking Void to shorten the Swordsmith's life. But Phoenix is going to get favor very likely. It's 3 minutes late on its open clock, which is like already quite a lot after just a turn of play actually. And he's down 2 Fate, but his board isn't really better actually. Like the character itself is better, but the fact that the Swordsmith is piled with 2 attachments and the Stronghold, the presence of the cloud for the Toshi Master actually makes Phoenix board probably a bit worse than the Dragon one. What do we have? Eugene on Phoenix side, so that's pretty sick. Hitomi on the Dragon side, that's also really good. So I would say both players have an interesting flop there, and Phoenix is in a worse situation because he has much less fate, so he cannot really dump stuff peacefully. He needs fate to play his conflict cards. So we see Atsuki one fate. Yeah, I think that's the reasonable call. That Eugenia next turn though isn't going to be really interesting because like the Swordsmith is gonna. I had the Finger of Jade anyway, so I don't think. Yeah, Eugenia wasn't really interesting actually. Mia Mystic is going to be good to get rid of any attachments that would be annoying, and playing it after the dragon has passed anyway was good because you're not giving up the fate for that. Buffalo being 5, still no surprises. I think we're gonna see bit 5 for quite a time there. Especially because there is no restoration of balance, so Phoenix has literally nothing to fear about bidding high. Taking a katana from the swordsmith, so that's very likely going to drop on Hitomi. That Hitomi is very likely going to be a problem for Phoenix unless he has a cloud. And even if he does, Dragon has let go, so you have one censure, which might not be enough. And if Dragon is clever with the free defend your owner, he might just like wait for a conflict to remove the cloud from Hitomi so that if your opponent censures that, then you just defend your owner. You still have a proving ground, so that's some more card draw. If Hitomi is dual fire properly. I think Dragon is in a very good position there actually. Up one on fate, down one on card, like it's pretty not significant. He has almost 5 full minutes on the counter, more than his opponents. So right now it might not matter too much because we're on turn 2, but like in 30 minutes, it's going to be a huge difference if it keeps going this way. I know we see that katana that he drew, very likely the one he drew dropped on Hitomi, which I think is totally correct. She's going to duel stuff, so you want her to have as many attachments as possible in military. The fact he has a favorable ground with that Hitomi is also pretty annoying. Like, I don't think Phoenix having one is going to compensate for the one that Dragon has. And Dragon is first player, so he's going to choose the conflict. What would you take there? Water isn't too good, fire is decent, air is decent, earth is good, void is very good. Well, actually, it's not very good, but it's good. You probably take whichever ring is the best, none regarding the fate, because you're one fate ahead, and anyway, you're gonna get fate from your second conflict if you do one. I would say you go Earth. Yeah, I think Earth is the best choice here. Unless Phoenix, yeah, Phoenix has a display, so if he wants to display that Earth ring, like, why not? I mean, it doesn't matter too much. If you take the Fire ring, it's not too much of a problem either if he displays it. Void ring is like, well, actually there is a lot of rings there that Phoenix. Don't take water, that's a sure thing because he displays it on both the Shugenja, the Swordsmith. Yeah, fire is good call, I think. Like any of the other rings can be displayed without too much problems. Well, now he can swap it for fire for if he wants, he can swap that for water and display it. Like, but he's giving you a fate in the process, which might be a problem because you already get one more. I think if I'm Phoenix, I'm better off like either defending that or just putting it on on another ring, display the other ring. And next turn, oh yeah, but I don't want to display because if you go water afterwards, that's the ring I would like to display. I was defending with a Mia Mystic. Not total, yeah, not totally sure about that. Like unless you, like you're gonna get dueled anyway. So what do you want to do with that? Like, do you just pop it immediately? I think it's not a good choice. You would rather have it used first. Like you would like the body to count before popping it. You can try to force your opponent wasting cards because it's Kurimori. I think that would be the good way to go there, but I'm not sure you have what it takes to do it. Yeah, bit of one on each side, which means Proving Ground is gonna draw a card. Yeah, Powing the Mystic, I think, is the right choice there. You have the it was a pull. Yeah, okay. He swaps political, right? No, it was a political conflict declared. No, it was a military conflict declared. What happened? What happened? Um. Oh yeah, Kurimori switched the conflict types. Yeah, sure. And there comes the first Indomitable Wheel cancelled by a censure. So no more cancel for the Phoenix player. And defend your honor. Yeah, I think yeah, that's bad. That's 2 card draw for Dragon from the Proving Grounds. And that Hitomi that's not going to bow. Like, and Phoenix doesn't have a console anymore. I think that console was not good because, yeah, of course, if Dragon doesn't have the defend your honor, then it's fine. But the risk that he had one was pretty high. And he also plays 3 Indomitable Wheels, so if you cancel the first one, you can still have a second one. Sure, it's a fate and a card, but like, I mean, your censure has more value here, especially because it's your lone censure. So you would like to cancel something that really has a huge impact on the turn. And I don't think like Hitomi not bowing was that significant. As a Dragon player, actually, I might not have dueled the Mia Mystic as a first action because I have a favorable ground, so you could have kept that Hitomi duel for later, bringing her into a conflict with the favorable ground. So no Phoenix plays a Tattooed Wanderer to be able to cover it. I guess you're going to cover it the Hitomi, I would say, because the Swordsmith has a Finger of Jades. Dragon has 3 Tattooed Wanderer, has conflict. It's his only conflict character, so he might play one on Hitomi to avoid her being coveted. That would be a good play, I think. Phoenix 10 minutes down on Dragon. That's not that's a lot. That's a huge lot. Going political water here, covert. That's bad. I think he forgot about the finger, right? Because yeah, I think he totally forgot about the Finger of Jade. Like if I'm Dragon, and anyway, you've got the favorable ground. Like you really don't care about that. Going on the manicure, yeah, that makes sense. You don't want the meditation to remove a fate, and you don't want to hit shameful, for example. So, well, it's not too bad, but it's just like giving more stats to whatever is going to defend. And the last one is upholding, and you don't want to break that. You really don't want to break that. No. You had 10 cards and you're done on board, so if you break upholding and you had something good in hand, it's pretty bad. Yeah, Johnny. That's the defining turning point for France here because it's 3-0 for Greece, and it doesn't sound really good for Phoenix right now. Like, situation isn't great. It's far from lost, but the situation isn't great. So at 5 political against a 4 of the Swordsmith, we could see a Stronghold activation to give at least a +2. Oh, we've got a fish, so that's good. The first fish is going in. Might have another. Does he have another? No, but he has a fan, so no, it breaks. Okay. Breaking that proving ground would be good. It's a bit too late. It already fires twice its turn, but like at least it's not gonna be there next turn. And with that Hitomi building up, there will be dual one for the dragon. There comes the let go. Yeah, and that would have been a very good time to try and use your censure. Actually, might still get it. Yeah, that might still have been defended anyway. And there we're gonna see a storm, I think, on the Master Fixator Shin to take the break. So that's 2 storm out of 6. So it's +6. So if you're Dragon, do you really want to bring that Hitomi into the conflict, give her an attachment, and boost her with the Stronghold? You would prevent the break, but oh no, you just get out of here with the Swordsmith. That also works, yeah. It's much better actually because you have a conflict left, so you can try to get a break in return. That Tsuki is going to get honored from the Water Ring, but that's probably not going to be enough to do anything. We might see a Clarity of Purpose on the Master of Zatoshi. That would do a lot. That would be like, yeah. It's because she has covered, it makes a lot of sense. Like she's going to have covered on the next conflict. So you're likely going to defend the political conflict with Tsuki, and then you're going to go military with the Master. And there comes a passive one, so that's good. That's +2 fate for the Phoenix player, and it definitely needs some. He will have to build a board because right there the situation isn't good. So Neo gets shuffled as usual. Yeah, I think he just totally forgot about the ring when he bailed out. Like it's just you could have kept the favorable ground and just did nothing. I think he just forgot about it. You know, it's like intuitively you feel like, oh, I'm losing the conflict. Let's get back home and use my character, and you do it, and you're like, oh fuck, that's Water Ring. True. The fact those clocks are running down might pressure a bit the player and have them making misplays. Thing is, Dragon should feel pretty like relaxed about that because he's still 8 minutes ahead from Phoenix, and like that's almost a third of your clock. Five Fires is almost always big against Dragon anyway. Phoenix get it. Thing is, his board isn't too huge either. Especially against this Dragon deck that is like clearly aiming to pile attachments. That's going to be very important. But there is only one 5-fire, so you have to draw it. Going back to Korimori, it's been triggered already this turn, so you actually won't be able to use it again. So that's a very good go for Dragon. That Hitomi is going to be at 4 political, very likely with the Stronghold. It's still not enough to break with the favorable ground, but Hitomi has covered because of a Tattooed Wonder. That might be telegraphing a tiny bit an Indomitable Will. Like, yeah, I think the problem here for Phoenix is that if you bring Tsuki in defense with the favorable ground, then it breaks with one less. So it's a bit awkward. You cannot really use it. So you're gonna have to try to defend that no matter what, knowing that your favorable ground, if you lose the conflict and it breaks, is more or less useless. Now, if Dragon Indomitable will this conflict, it's very good because like the Master of Xatoshi won't be able to cover her back. We see the Stronghold boost, so that somehow tells me that he can break. Because you wouldn't use the Stronghold if you were not able to break that. So he probably has a +2 boost somewhere. An Ornate Find would do it. Could still it would do it, but there is a Mia Mystic on board. Okay, he's just passing. That's interesting. That's really weird. Like, why using your Stronghold then? Unless you don't have this indomitable will, and you know you're gonna like have no defenders on the next conflict. But that doesn't make any sense. Like, just don't use the Stronghold. We see a display of power. Okay, not quite sure I'm too happy about that. Like, it's just I think you should have kept that for later. Like, that ring doesn't have such a huge impact. Especially if you draw the 5 fires and there isn't 5 fate on the dragon board at the time you play it, you're going to be unhappy about that 2 fate spent on a void ring. Yeah, I think that was a mistake. Also, you already played your Sentry, so you're not too worried about the favor anymore. Well, you are because there is a Sumiko on the dragon side, but like, I don't like it. Especially you still have Kurimori live. Like, I mean, if at some point he breaks it, you would be happy to change the ring and trigger the ring effects. using the display something better. Yeah, I think the DOP is definitely a mistake. I think, Johnny, that it's better to keep the Mystic as long as you can. Like it's. What's happening there? Oh yeah, fight and Hitomi. Okay, that's why she's still there. Shameful display. So that's not good for the Phoenix player. He's going to lose two stats in the conflict, and the dragon is going to get two more. So it's going to be actually difficult to even win. That might be difficult. And here, as the dragon player, you're super unhappy about having used your stronghold. Because, like, why? Why did you use it? Century for what? For the Phaeton? Yeah, definitely. That would have been great. Much more significant than when he played it. So we see a let go. We might see another defend your honor there. No, doesn't. The let go goes. And okay, and there is one on the dragon side too. So Phoenix is still losing that conflict. Stronghold's been used, so we won't see another storm here. I don't know what Phoenix has in hand, but with one card, I think you don't do anything about that. Like you have to accept that you're losing the conflict. Yeah. Yeah, you can Mystic Use as well, definitely. Thing is, Dragon Stronghold has been used in a useless conflict, so no, you can totally do it. He doesn't. Um, I can understand why. Like there is reprieve involved, so you might prefer to get rid of the reprieve. I think that's actually a good call. Like just go for the reprieves with the Mystic. The thing is, like now, if you kick the Mystic, Dragon is going to play the reprieve afterwards. So yeah, Phoenix just doesn't trigger the Mystic, and yeah, that's no. I'm not sure if forgot it. Um, it's like if you trigger it, then Dragons play the reprieve on the Swordsmith, and if you don't trigger it, then Dragon can't really play the reprieve. But it's like it sounds like a lose-lose situation anyway. No, there isn't two fate on the dude. There was a Swordsmith with no fate, Nessus. So the idea is just Dragon would have kept the Swordsmith. But like, I agree, it sounds like a lose-lose deal for the Phoenix. Like, just get rid of that katana and do it during the conflict so that you might win the conflict. Double Eugenia here. First player Phoenix. Oh, I think I'm happy about playing that Eugenia. Like, you play it, you go void, and Dragon has to defend that conflict because if it doesn't, goodbye Hitomi, and if he loses it, goodbye Hitomi. I think that's really good. But then you also have to have a let go because Dragon is very likely going to play that reprieve if it has it, just so that Hitomi doesn't go away. You're even more happy about playing Yuji here that there is no Shugenjan Dragon Sport, so it means no Cloud. Taking a risk with the Dojo, da, like if you put a lot of fate on that character, you're gonna lose one. Well, might not be too much actually. Phoenix has to be very careful about his clock. Like that's 10 minutes, and we're still far from any kind of win, and we're almost half time through the game. I don't know what's below the second Regina, but I think as Phoenix you pass here. And yeah, I think you pass as Phoenix. Okay, now I prefer to play the Solemn score. That's a bit annoying because like you're first player and you won the Void Ring. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not too happy about that pass. That Solemn score play. Like it's and then you give the passing fate to Dragon again. Like it's the third time. It starts to be consequential. I think I would have passed after the Eugene, honestly. I think yeah, that's the thing. Is like if you don't pass and Dragon takes the passing fate, then just do pure Ujina. Like it doesn't make sense to keep another one, unless you're afraid of the cloud. But like there's no Shugenjas in your opponent's board, so like it doesn't matter. Johnny, don't forget that you have to stream that match that is starting, I think, right now. And Phoenix is letting the clock running down again. I think that's going to be a problem. He has to choose a ring. I would definitely. Dragon doesn't have too many events. There is that Indomitable Will that would be pretty significant. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, but the Executor she masters Clouded, so anyway, he doesn't have to trigger it. Yeah. Moving one fate to fire, so it makes air a little bit less appealing. Um, I think air wasn't appealing anyway. Given the board states, if your opponent takes air, I think you're happy about it as a dragon. So I would definitely would have left this fate for now, and I would have moved it after the conflict. That's void, right? Just going for void with that. Yeah, he is. That Tsuki is going to be useless because she's dishonored. Like as a Phoenix player here, you want to win that void ring because you want to get rid of the Hitomi, and as a dragon player, you need to defend it. So you're gonna have to defend with Hitomi. One way or another, she's out of the board for that turn, unless she wins that conflict and there is another undomitable will. There's three in the deck, so that's pretty core to the strategy. Okay, I think if none of them has pinged you back, it's maybe because he's given a wrong time. Well, I think it was 8:30 French time, so well, let me check that. I'm pretty sure it should be happening like right now. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm not watching at the game because I'm searching for something. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not now actually. It's in 1 hour from now. I'm very bad with timelines and uh, and time zone changes. Yeah, I'm gonna see how we're gonna do that. Either you can catch it or you take the other one. Like we'll have two games simultaneously. So if you don't mind, can you take back the one you can stream it? Okay. Then I'm okay. I'm gonna see if there is another streamer to do that. Don't worry about that. It's in an honor. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're happy about that, I leave you do the later one, and I take the dragons versus scorpion one. If you don't mind and you can do that, then it's perfect for me. So yeah, we see the Solem score being bought from Hitomi Duel. Yeah, definitely. That's sound. Oh, it was both characters. So Gizeh Itoshi got Dishonored. So now Phoenix is still winning, but by 0, which means like, yeah, just the court games is enough to have it Dragon winning that conflict. So does Phoenix has anything in the 5 cards that would give him a conflict win here? Yeah, a Shrine Maiden. That's neat. Getting 2 clouds from that Shrine Maiden, but you have no fate. That's quite sad. That's quite sad. And there is literally nothing worse clouding on your opponent's board. So, and we see another Ornate Fan and Hitomi. So that's the time where you would like be super happy to get rid of that Hitomi. And that's exactly the time where you can't anymore with Yujina. And now, as Phoenix, you're going to have to discard one of your own characters. So I guess the Shrine Maiden is going to take the blow. And Hitomi is still not bowing from Indomitable Will. Honestly, I think that game starts to smell really bad for Phoenix. Dragon Board is much better than Phoenix Board into the next turn. Fate is much better for Dragon. Clock is hugely better for Dragon. Yeah, sounds. Yeah, thank you, Johnny. So sounds to be going like the good way for Dragon here. Coveting Tsuki on a fire conflict on upholding. I think as Phoenix, you're happy. That's the moment where you would have been happy, I guess, to have your display, but you don't have and the two fate that you spent earlier. Like you just don't defend that, display the fire ring, Dishonour the Tranquil Philosopher, and that's the zero stat body, and it would have been much better. Reprieve on Hitomi, so winning that Void Ring would actually not have changed anything because Dragon would have reprieved Hitomi anyway. So we see another reprieve, that's the second one. Does he have the third one? That would be gross. Okay, just two, but that's already a lot. Maybe a third Indomitable Will? Or not, and he's just going to fight on in the conflict, in defense. Yeah, it could just be a fight on in defense if he needs. Yeah, fight on, and okay, I think it's a mistake not playing the Indomitable Will there. Like, you're gonna show your hand anyway, so just play it. Hitomi doesn't bow, and it's much better. I think that's a mistake from Dragon. You should have played Indomitable Will. No Phoenix, just discard the fight, and I guess. Oh no, okay, that's an interesting choice. That's an interesting choice. Yeah, Dragon chooses to discard the Prodigy, which I think is good, and he dishonors Eugenia. So no, the Phoenix board is like potatoed. In military, there is nothing left. And he has favor in political, which means like that Tsuki is totally useless. So he's going for fate. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But he's giving up the ring. I think he just has to pass there. Don't think you're playing any boost on that Tsuki, right? Storm doesn't cut it. Nothing cuts it. Yeah, I think you just pass as Phoenix here. Sounds very bad, but you don't have a choice. Yeah. Dragon is down 4 cards, but I think given the board, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, you're gonna draw 5 next turn anyway. You have a conflict, but you don't have a character, I would say. I'm not sure why Yoda plays that. To keep the favor, yeah. I mean, well, it sounds like a waste to me. At the same time, he has no stats to stand, so that might be the better use you can do of it. But you're already stranded on Fate. Yeah, dragon as a dragon, yeah, I 100% play the investigator there, given the hand sizes. And on Phoenix size, I guess you just like extend Eugenia and play the Tsuki, but it's like not great, not great at all. He's been starved on Fate all the game long. So now he has no board, and once you have no board, it's even harder to get the passing fate because like your opponent has a board, so he can pass whenever he wants. You get 2 extra cards from the libraries, but I think like at that stage it doesn't matter anymore. I don't know what Dragon is thinking about. Like, you just don't play the Master Alchemist because she's just Sugenja, she's gonna get bored, and you have like no very good targets right now for her ability. Like, you just play an Investigator, or you do. Oh yeah, there is Cloud, but I mean, in this situation, I think I'm pretty happy about the Phoenix wasting a Fate and a card to Cloud your Investigator. I just play it with 2 Fates, and if you can honor it with the Fire Ring, then it's like a consequent body, and it's pretty fine. Okay, he prefers to go for the Master Alchemist. That's interesting. What we can see him doing is actually playing also the Investigator with 1 Fate and keeping 1 Fate for the abilities. His first player, so he would have 2 Fate for the 2 abilities. Yeah, that's what he does. So now, from his own Fate and the one from a ring he has, each ability can trigger once, which is pretty good. And now he has quite a board in front of Phoenix that doesn't have anything. And oh, Phoenix has 5 Fate. Might see a consume, but I mean, that's too late. That's way too late. Um, yeah, not sure about that 4 bid. Like, you're still not in the danger zone, and you're in such a bad position that whichever card you have in addition, whichever additional card you have is a good card. That honor loss isn't going to scare Dragon anyway. There is no Mirror Daisho in the deck, so you really don't care about being 6 rather than 7. I think you should have bid 5 there. Especially if you're digging for that consume, like you need it ASAP. So Dragon, as a Dragon, what do you go for here? Earth with 2 Fates? Yeah, definitely. That sounds like a super good choice. And where do you go? Kurimori is actually a decent choice, I think. What else could happen? Um, yeah, you scoot something new. Yeah, that's good. You're not taking a lot of risks there, I think. Um, yeah, there's a rally, but it's probably under the stronghold. It's yeah manicured, so you really don't care about that fire. Like, Phoenix has the 5 Fate anymore anyway, so if he wants to play that consume, he's gonna play it. Giving him one more or one less doesn't matter too much. It could actually, because he can then play the Cloud and the Investigator, but like, are you worried too much about that? I think Phoenix has no way to prevent a break there. Like, there is an Alchemist to know the Hitomi back if needed. Um, yeah, there's literally no way that Phoenix prevents that break. So I guess you just then defend that. Yeah. Actually, as Dragon here, I would have moved the Fate to the Void Ring. I would have went Fate, Void. Void Eugenia could kill you, force Eugenia to kill himself. Oh no, he would just force you to discard a reprieve from it to me. Yeah. Yeah, so that's not a good idea. Well, it doesn't have the impact you hope it would have. Give me just a second. Yeah, so Phoenix doesn't defend, and that's a break. That was like pretty obvious. Discarding fine can match random. I think it doesn't matter that much. Well, it's a card you cannot replay with the stronghold, so it's a bit annoying, but you don't have a character with a lot of fate on which that katana would have been very significant. And Dragon still have the favorable crown and didn't use its it didn't use the Hitomi dual ability, so actually might still do it with the favorable crown. Like, I think that game is definitely settled in favor of Dragon. I see no out for Phoenix anymore. He's just gonna take like 2 more breaks and lose the game. Clouding the Investigator, I guess as Dragon you don't really care anymore. Like you're there about stats, right? You go political, and you know that Investigator, and it's 5 stats, and you take a break. Like I think it doesn't matter anymore. Like even if Phoenix goes political, all that he can align is like 4 political skills. He has a Storm in the discard, so that would be 6. Oh, he doesn't have the Storm anymore. He replayed both of them, so yeah, you don't you can't even like I think you can't do much as Phoenix anymore. Sure, you have 8 cards in hand, but like okay, there is the consume. So now you take the Water Ring as Phoenix. You just take the Water Ring, try to win it, and bow whatever your opponent is leaving out of the conflict. Thing is, doing that, you're sure you're giving him a fate, no matter what happens, because like he's going to defend and win that Water Ring probably. Especially because Hitomi can duel you, so it's still not a good situation for Phoenix actually. It's going Void, interesting. Yeah, he wants to trigger Eugenia ability. But like, what do you kill? What's really interesting to kill? I mean, maybe the Alchemist. You can't really kill Hitomi. And like, even if you force your opponent to remove a reprieve, he's going to use the second one. And it's like, Hitomi is still going to be there next turn. And next turn, I think, is game is settled next turn. It's over. Maybe as Dragon, you actually let that break. And you just smash another province. If it's water, you can't let that. You can't really let that break. You might not defend, bring in Itomi, and duel. That would be a very good choice. Duel both characters. Phoenix has no fate, so he cannot against the waves. Yeah, I think that's what you do. Like he has 2 boards, he's on Tsuki, so he will be at 0 strength. And then he has to use cards. Like if he does, then fine. You have 1 character board, but you still have 2 for next conflict, and he has nothing left. Yeah, I think that's what you do. That's definitely what I would do. Like, don't defend that. Move Hitomi with the favorable ground. Don't boost her. Like, it's not useful. Just duel both of them. You can even duel for the dojo, so that one of those characters. Oh no, you can't duel with the dojo because if you do so, yeah, you can. She's a duelist. The fate is gonna get burned, not given back. You don't want it to be. You want it to be given back because then you could against the waves. The character like just bow and against the waves. He might have fishes. Oh no, he's on Void finally. Okay, he changed back to Void. Yeah, dragon defending with investigator and moving. I think that's way too much. Like it's totally unnecessary. You can probably still get that break though. Like it's very likely. You attack back with both characters political. You know the alchemist, but like it's unnecessary, right? You could just have defended with Itomi and bow that guy and yeah, and you're clouding Eugenia, so it's really like, oh, we see let go. So do we see a defend or not even one? Maybe the last cloud, the third one that would do it. Yeah. Additionally, that defense using the yeah, but you would need so many let goes for the reprieve. Like that's not going to work, I think. Yeah, we see a policy debate. So if Phoenix has the last let go left, it's gonna get discarded anyway. So no let go. If you have like three Ninos, then that should have been water. Definitely. With three Ninos, there is no way that ring was not water. Going void here was just greed. So we see the Georgian curse discarded. That's good. That's a very good discard here, actually. Because at the end of the turn, Tsuki standing with the Georgian would have wiped his opponent's port. He would still be in quite a bad spot now. But that was definitely the discard to go for. So dishonoring Tsuki. Um, I'm not sure why you do that. Yeah, okay. You do it now so that you get the fate back when you attack fire. Yeah, okay. It's fine. But in that case, I think I would rather have honored one of my guys. Like, makes more sense. Just to try to get that back. Phoenix is thinking, but that's still like a lot of time running out. Not that it's a matter anymore because I think the game is lost for Phoenix anyway. But like, doesn't sound good. Okay, he's removing Hitomi from the game, trying to force the reprieves to be discarded. Uh, I would have removed something else, honestly, like the alchemist probably, or even the philosopher. But like your most urgent problem is that you're going to take another break, very likely, and that your opponent is going to be on the stronghold. I think that choice to discard Hitomi, that was like she's to reprieve anyway. So sure, so she's gonna be there one less turn, but I mean the turn where she's going to leave is just never going to happen because you probably lose the game next turn anyway, no matter what happens. Even just considering the clocks, like you won't go through two more turns. So you should have went for the short term plan there rather than the long term. Oh yeah, and coverts. Yeah, that's well actually that's totally unnecessary, I think. Prevents Phoenix from playing a storm because he doesn't have a body in the conflicts. Um, why don't you go with both characters there? Like just unless oh yeah, you still have the stronghold. Well, that's fine. Also prevents shameful from triggering, which is like super good because nobody in the conflict for Phoenix. He gets a fate though. If he has a Shrine Maiden, that's good. How many did he played? Only one, I think. Oh no, two played and one Ancient Master. So one, sorry, Tattooed Wanderer. So he could have either a Shrine Maiden or a Tattooed Wanderer. But he's passing, so that's just a tell that he's gonna. Either he has nothing or he's trying to get Dragon, wasting a bit more cards. forcing him like to trigger the stronghold, and yeah, it's triggered stronghold for +1. So now if Phoenix has something, it's the right time to play it, because that would make Shameful super hard to break. But no, that's not happening. So Shameful is broken. Dragon is going to another Master Alchemist, I guess. Yeah. So the thing is, like, at the end of the turn, Dragon's board is leaving, but Phoenix has only a Tsuki. He's only one fate ahead. Hand size are more or less the same. Like, what do you do? I mean, you do. That's not going to bring you very far. You're two break down. Maybe only one if you can break that one. That's like non-significant. And like, you just giving Dragon a fate by taking wood. Ah, you know, you have the 3 Ninos. Yeah, sure. He had 3 Ninos in hand. We saw it earlier from the policy debate. So he's actually very likely going to get that break. But that's probably non-significant. Yeah, 3rd Nino here, not thinking. Just drop it. Yeah, there it comes. So Shameful breaks. I think as Dragon you pass here. Like, just don't waste your... Oh, yeah, okay. If you have a fight on that works. That definitely works. Then no, it's not breaking. You're even winning the conflict. You're gonna get a fate from that defense. Yeah. There is really no way Phoenix can do anything there. As Dragon, you might want to use Hitomi to duel here. Just duel 2 Ninos to get them losing fate, Bowed or Dishonored. Oh yeah, they're gonna get Bowed, so that's pretty useless. But you can use the dojo to remove a fate from the Tsuki, so that... Yeah, he forgot to do it. I think it doesn't matter. So Dragon's taking the favor. If he flips Sumiko, that's just huge. He's gonna be second player though. And I don't see how Phoenix survives this turn. There's just literally no way. Like, Dragon keeps hitting me. If he had dueled, Phoenix would have lost Tsuki with the dojo. Yeah, and that's a bit sad he forgot about it. So yeah, Tsuki is extended, but I think like at that point it doesn't matter too much anymore. Kizaitoshi Master 1 Fate. Does Dragon still have a cloud? I think he does. Oh no, third cloud has been played. Oh yeah, on Jinan, it's been let good. So as Phoenix here, you just have to monstrously defend your stronghold. It's like if you don't, you lose. And given the board state, I'm not sure you can do much about that. Just, I don't know, yeah, okay. I don't understand do speeds. Like, that doesn't make sense. If you're Dragon and you try to disenroll out Phoenix, just speed 1 and let 2. And Phoenix here, like if you're afraid of Dragon trying to kill you, then just yeah, okay, he beat 4 just to be sure that he wouldn't die if Dragon did beat 1. He still wouldn't die actually, he would die. Yeah, if he did 1 versus 5, he would die. So that explains the bit 4, but the bit 2 is like more or less unreasonable. I think at that point as a Dragon you just want to break like bit 5 and do not care. You were at 10 before the bid, like there is absolutely literal. Oh, you were at 12. There is literally no way you were afraid of anything with that bid. Take 5 cards and break the Stranglehold would have been the right call right here. Cloud and Togashi Yokuni, I think that's relevant because you could copy Hitomi's ability. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. If you had the 3 fishes now, you could ensure that you could bow at least 1 character from water. Very likely Hitomi. Like, oh, she would have to defend them. So she would be out of the board, and you could bow the Dream Shugenja. Yeah, that would have. Yeah, maybe he drew 3 fishes again. You don't know about that. But I think it's unlikely. Like there's 10 conflict cards left. But I agree with that choice. It would have been better, I think. Thing is, it probably wouldn't have changed much. So Hitomi doesn't bow. Yeah, wouldn't have changed anything because like even if Hitomi is out of conflict and maybe even the Doom Shugenja, you still have a Yokuni with 5 strength. And I think as a dragon, like you should have beat 5, and you would have had like 9 cards. You would have been in a much better position. That was just unnecessary risk. So the thing is, now what do you do as Phoenix here? Like, if you have 3 fishes, you obviously go water, even if you have like only 1. But if you don't, then what do you do? Like now you need to win that water ring for the Hitomi to bow. So it's I think as Dragon actually I would have waited for the conflict to happen. Let Phoenix go water, and then once the conflict is started and you win it, then you play the mountain does not fall. So Phoenix cannot adapt its game plan. Yeah, Phoenix kind of has to try to do something, but I mean like no, you just defend that water ring with Hitomi and maybe even the Doom Shugenja. Yeah, you probably also no, I don't know. Yeah, maybe Hitomi and the Doom Shugenja, and I don't see what Phoenix can do about that. Like probably literally nothing. That's upholding authority. I think yeah, as a dragon player, you're too happy to defend that, and yeah, just Hitomi also works. Like if Phoenix cannot win that water ring, then I think you bow and you play against the storm here, Phoenix. No, okay, prefers to dishonour. Well, that might tell he has no way to actually win that conflict. Okay, she's not bowing, so none of those are bowing, which literally doesn't matter. If Dragon goes air on the stronghold, he literally more or less wins on two conditions, like honor at the end of the turn and maybe break on the stronghold during the turn. So on 8 fan, okay. Thing is, like, he's still only at 5 against 6. There is potentially a stronghold trigger for the dragon, so it would be 8. So you need to have at least a +3, so that's only +2, but you might be able to reply that with the stronghold. Okay, that's good. If he can win that water ring, he's going to bow the Hitomi, and that's good, but that might not be enough. Okay, favorable ground for Tsuki. Stupid question, why not just replaying the storm? Yeah. Because now you have nobody to defend. Unless you have a conflict character, of course. But like... So we see another fan and Hitomi discarding a fan because discarding a Kazana because like too much stuff. Clarity for Tsukino. Okay, so now you have two characters not bowing out of that conflict. Well, I guess that's good then. I guess that's good. Thing is, he's just trying to slow his own death here, because like there is no way he comes back in this game before the timer expires. So I guess Dragon just goes all in here, converting Tsuki. That's a rally to the cause, so you don't even need that Finger of Jade, actually. Oh yeah, he's trying to prevent the Against the Waves as a first action. I think that might not be enough because if... Oh yeah, Phoenix only has one fate, so actually that works. You can't Against the Waves to Yokunino. Yeah, I would have coveted the Tsuki, honestly. She has less military skill. She has more military skill than the Gizaitoshi Master. So conflict becomes military from political. That's interesting. Yeah, I think that was just the fun last thing to do before straight losing the game. Yeah. Well, that sounded like quite a spanking for Phoenix. He's been down all the game long compared to Dragon. From the first turn, I think Dragon was in a better post position, and I didn't saw Phoenix coming on top once. Though there were quite a few good plays, like that 5 fires was really nice. Just happened too late. Well, thank you very much for watching the game, and have a nice evening.